Welcome to Veteran Voices, SITREP, with your hosts, Tom and Chris Faust.
Welcome to Veteran Voices, SITREP. I am Tom Faust, and this is my son, Chris. Today we want to talk about ways that you can socially integrate into civilian life. This can include various things from joining clubs, community groups, helping out, volunteering in various organizations, things like that.
So one of the first organizations, there's a couple different, but joining the organizations for veterans is definitely helpful there. You have the VFW, Veterans for Foreign Wars, and the American Legion. Different organizations like that offer communal space for veterans to connect with others who have had similar experiences, and they do tend to organize social events, community service projects, and provide support for veterans transitioning to civilian life. And it really is for folks of any age. It's not just, when you think, veterans, you think like, the grizzled old veterans, 60s, 70s and things like that, which you'll have. But, veterans of all ages and backgrounds and types are welcome to join these organizations. Yeah.
The veterans that are older are only older because they've just been there longer. They got out when they were younger and joined when they were younger and are still there. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're still there speaks a lot about the quality of the organization, that they feel it's worth something to be around, to support each other, to support the new veterans that are getting out and need to transition as well. Mm. And so other ways that can be done is through, like I mentioned earlier, community service, volunteer work. And there's a number of organizations that do some interesting activities, and sometimes even more than activities. Like there's one called Team Rubicon, where they actually go out and do disaster relief. If there's a tornado or an earthquake or some sort of natural disaster, they'll go out and help rebuild and get the community back on its feet. And they do a lot of organization for that. That one looks very interesting. I'll share a link at the end of this. Another one is called The Mission Continues. And on this one, they deploy veterans alongside nonprofit partners and things to help out and help provide, food or educational resources, things like that, to just help out in neighborhoods. It's not so much a disaster relief as much as just serving the people.
Yeah, and a lot of companies, too, to piggybacking off that a little bit, a lot of companies, too, will do sorts of these sort of events where, you help, those less fortunate, or just helping in general. Like the company I work for does some things where we help package food into boxes to go to schools around the state that, the poor schools that they may not be able to afford, the student lunches and things like that. So we help, box up food and get that sent there. And a lot of companies do that. And
the company that I work for actually does similar. It's not that they box up food for local. We'll support local groups like Feeding America and that kind of thing. But also the owner, I may have mentioned this in an earlier episode, the owner is from South Africa. And a lot of what we do, the company profits go to build things like, wells for small villages and things, and to help build schools. Other things that you can do to kind of blend in back in civilian life would be finding something that you're interested in, a hobby or a group. It could be photography, it could be hiking, book clubs, camping. There are a number of veteran-related walks and things that support other veterans, or feeding the homeless and things like that. Those are things that you can do to find people with similar interests.
Yeah, and then more that you can do as well, which, in the information world that we are today, you can leverage social media and online communities as well to, whether you're finding local events or groups that match your interests, or even that other veterans can do. You have Facebook groups, LinkedIn, meetup.com. Is another option there, and they can offer connections to community events, professional networking groups, hobby-based gatherings. So you can find like-minded people to join you in these things. Because, hobbies by themselves are fine, but some you need people. And what better way to find people than the World Wide Web?
That's true, yeah. Another one that you didn't mention is alignable.com. At Alignable, it's a networking website. And so they have networking events where you can just get on there and there'll be a group of, it could be 50 or 60 people that sign up for this event. And it's like an hour long, and you meet for about 6 to 8 minutes with, a number of them, maybe 8 people during the hour. So it's a randomly selected. I've done it a few times, and I think I've run into more veterans than not veterans on there. I think, it seems like a good place to be able to do some networking, to meet people from all over the country. And then you can find people with similar interests. If you have your own business that you're doing, that it's a way to help promote your business as well. And then there's, educational and learning opportunities that you can do too. There's always courses at the local community college, and those are fairly inexpensive. Or universities with your GI Bill, you can get some college classes, pick a major, and get some good education. Or a lot of online platforms as well, including things like LinkedIn. They have a lot of online learning.
Community colleges and universities are also a good place. We kind of touched on it last week too, with helping to integrate back into society. Is mingling with others, like not necessarily in a whole work environment, but in a college environment where it's laid back, you're going to learn. Everybody's there to learn, so that way that can help you kind of get back on your feet that way with dealing with other people in a more casual environment instead of a corporate work type environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing that happens to a lot of veterans after getting out of the service, you've been doing things for a number of years, anywhere from 3 or 4 to 20 years if you've gone, fully retirement, where you've been staying in shape, working out, most every day and doing things that are keeping you strong and fit. And then you get out, and I know for me, for sure, it was like, okay, I've had enough of that for a while, and stopped. Yeah, exactly. And I stopped doing the daily exercise, and it took me many years to decide to get back into it and try and stay in shape again. And mostly because as I was getting older and approached, like my late 40s, 50, thereabouts, and it's like, if I'm not in good shape, I want to be around a while. And so I need to stay healthy so I can do that. And there's lots of things you can do for that. You can join sports teams, like local softball or soccer teams, that kind of thing. There's gyms, fitness classes you can take. There's a veterans group called Team Red, White, and Blue, which its idea is to keep you in shape, to work out together. They join in groups in all over the country, and don't want you to neglect your health. They want you to stay positive, to stay in shape, and to stay strong. And it's just opportunities to build a healthier lifestyle together.
Part of that too, a healthier physical lifestyle, and then mentally a mentally healthy lifestyle as well, which is another thing, is seeking out mentorship opportunities, whether it's finding a mentor to help you during your transition, or if you've been out for a little bit and you've been through it, kind of which direction to go to integrate better, then you can even become a mentor for people. There's different programs out there that are designed for veterans that can facilitate these connections. And, the mentorship can offer guidance during the transition, building strong personal professional relationships. And that's just, you can build lifelong friends out of that, or at least, do a good deed, help somebody out who may really need it and just not know where to go.
Yeah. And those professional relationships, there's associations that you can look for as well to join. And you probably find a lot of those on LinkedIn again. So LinkedIn is a good source for professional related things and educational. But you'll find, local groups with networking opportunities, social events, things that you can do. And I'm sure, you can find some that are geared toward veterans. So that's always something to look for as well as you're transitioning. Veteran transitions, workshops, seminars. There's one there that's like a transition assistance program
It's actually provided by the U.S. Department of Labor, and it's designed to help service members transform from military to civilian life. So it's a cooperative effort between the Department of Labor, the Department of Defense, and other agencies that offer these workshops and resources for the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put links to all these things that we mentioned too at the end of the podcast as well.
Of course. And then there's like military one source transitioning to help veterans and their families to navigate this transition, because it's often difficult. And you can get consultations and extra support for service members. You can get one-on-one assistance if you need it, online workshops, things like that. So this is also put on by the Defense Department Transition Assistance Program.
Yeah, and then you've got the Commit Foundation as well, which is focused on assisting veterans with career transitions. And this organization is one that provides resources, including the one-on-one assistance, online workshops, mentoring, and other networking opportunities that aim to help veterans translate military skills into civilian careers.
And then the VA has an Office of Transition and Economic Development, where they support veterans and help navigate the VA benefits, which is some of what we shared a week or two ago. And, they have partner resources. They look to sustain career goals and economic success, and just, again, more physical and mental health, which is a real common theme in all of this. You really want to keep your mind and your body together and strong. And that helps you stay focused on the good direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the last, kind of like last but not least things that we can mention, and this might be easier for some than others, is family and relationship building. It's one thing to, get to know people outside of your family, whether it's, work or a recreational activity, but family and friends that you've had, before, or even that you met during the military, fostering stronger relationships with them can aid in your social integration as well. Family activities, couples groups, things like that can help veterans feel more grounded in their civilian identities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I guess some of the key takeaways from this are really, because there's a lot of choices, a lot of things to choose from in order to make a smooth transition. Mm-hmm. There really is a lot of support out there. But what you have to be is patient and persistent, because these things take time. Getting to know people takes time. You got to find people that you really fit with and enjoy working with. So we encourage veterans to just be patient and to be yourself, to persist, to find these social connections, because it really is important to share with other people, where you can share the issues you've had and people who will understand those because they've been through similar things. So you want to, just stay open to the new experiences and be curious and try to learn what you can and look for support when you need it. That's really one of the most important things, is to try and find that support. Talk with fellow veterans. Yeah,
that's one of the most stubborn things about us is, you need to be brave. You need to be strong, things like that. And you're like, oh, well, I don't want to talk to people about these things. No, seek that support when needed. It's plenty okay to ask for help or ask for opinions, whether you use them or not, but getting somebody's outside perspective is usually beneficial.
Yeah. And I think you'd be surprised how many people are willing to help, because if they've been through this and worked their way through, almost definitely they're going to be wanting to help others get through the same thing. That's part of the reason Chris and I are here. Mm-hmm. And so just, by engaging in these activities, you can build a support network. You can get a renewed sense of purpose and really learn to navigate this civilian society. It's different than the military, but it's a lot more open, and you really have a lot more choices.
Yep, very well said. And, actively engaging in all these ones, whatever strategy you choose, one or multiple, actively engage in them. You can build that supportive social network. You can find that sense of purpose again. Definitely better navigate the complexities of the society that it is today, because it's a different animal than the military. Yeah,
indeed. All right. I think that about does it for today. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we're glad you're here. Glad we can be here to help. And
we appreciate y'all.
All right.
And y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you on the next one.
All right. Sounds good.
See ya.
Yeah.